Have you ever felt like you're stuck on a career plateau despite all your hard work and dedication? If yes, you're not alone. You need a sponsor, a champion who will speak for you, who will advocate for your quality of work when it matters most. Let me share with you a personal story that highlights the importance of having a career sponsor. Some time ago, I met a young engineer named Alex. Alex was a brilliant engineer. He graduated top of his class from one of the top universities. He was brilliant. He had great work ethics. He was always the first to arrive and the last to leave. But I was worried for Alex. He was the kind that would always work in a corner of the office, puts his head down, and never took the time to socialize with anyone else. One day, Alex came to me for advice. He wanted to grow in his career, and he felt that promotions were slipping him by. I had observed Alex up close, and I know his work personally. So we started working together, and eventually, I became his sponsor. I didn't just give advice to Alex. I advocated for him and highlighted his achievements and why it mattered to the team, to people around us whenever we can. This helped Alex build his personal Alex brand. And this paid off big time. Eventually, Alex was given a lead role in a big project, and he knocked it out of the park. He did excellent, and everyone around him knew he was a rock star at that point. But this was not a story of how things turn around overnight. It took dedicated process and very intentional learning, experimenting with things to build that brand and finding a sponsor that would spread that around. The story shows that sometimes it's not just about what you know, but who you know. It highlights the importance of having a sponsor, a champion, who will stand for you, who will advocate for your work, who will speak very loudly because they know who you are and what you stand for and the work that you're capable of delivering. So how do you find a sponsor? It starts with two things. Really simple, really. Number one, building trust through consistent, high-quality work. The more work that you do, the better the quality it is. That's when people will notice that you are known for the quality of work. And number two, networking strategically. It's about understanding who are the people around you, what they care about, what are their problems, and how you can help them solve their problems. It might sound politicky and you might feel that, hey, this is a little bit too much, but I promise you it's not. A lot of times these things happen organically. It's just a matter of putting structure to it and then actually putting in the effort to identify the people and how you can help them get better. A mental model that I find useful in thinking about career conversations or performance conversations or any conversations related to career growth is to think about a save that you have and you keep putting little tokens into it through transactions like helping someone, building credibility through your work, or networking with people around you. And every time you have a conversation, let's say you have an ask for a promotion or a raise, you'll take a couple of tokens out of this save. We've collected all these different coins and you want to exchange that for a favor. And that mental framing has helped me contextualize what it means to have a career growth conversation, how to think about helping people, how do I accumulate credentials for myself at work, and that has helped tremendously for the people that I have been helping. Now, there are two kinds of currencies to be aware of. Number one, performance currency. Performance currency is accumulated through the work that you do. So this entails the quality of the work, the type of projects that you ship, and the general reputation that you acquire over time through the quality of the work that you do. It's more about your skills, what you know, and how you do it. Most people tend to accumulate these types of tokens or performance currencies organically just because they're smart, they're intelligent, and they're very capable. Currency number two is relationship currencies. Now, these are the types of currencies that you accumulate through networking strategically with the right people, understanding what their problems are, and stepping up proactively to unblock them. Now, it's very important that you accumulate these types of relationship currencies because these are the hardest to build and accumulate, because trust and faith with the coworkers that you have, with the people that you interact with, it takes time, maybe months, years to build, and it can take seconds to deplete. So it's very critical that you are very mindful of maintaining that trust and faith with the people that you work with. And there are several different ways that we can dive deeper into it about how to build that trust and faith with people around you really quickly and establishing and solidifying that relationship. If that's something that you're interested in, please leave a comment below and I'll make another video that talks more in depth about how do you build relationships and maintain them. Now that you have two different types of currencies in your piggy bank, you can start thinking about having those career growth conversations with your manager or your skip manager in terms of growing your career. And the person usually with both types of currencies are the ones who are more able to succeed because they're seen as more capable, they are liked by their coworkers, and they're able to build alignment, build consensus with their coworkers very successfully and well liked. And let's be honest, who doesn't like someone who is capable and well liked by their coworkers? Now, let's talk about how do you find a sponsor and what does it mean to be a sponsor? You have to be very strategic around finding the right sponsor or champion for your work. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be very political and only find the highest leadership in your reporting chain to be your sponsor. No, it doesn't have to work that way. Finding a sponsor is more around finding someone that you can relate with, who understands your work in a critical manner in some important dimension, either the quality of the work because they've reviewed your work very regularly, or someone who's very invested in your growth, maybe a tech lead on your team or your manager, or your skip manager who is very invested in having you being successful. The second thing in terms of finding a sponsor is you want to have a very clear conversation with them about what are the issues that they're having, how you can help solve them. Because this is a two-way street. It's not a one-way street where you're just asking them to provide their help in sponsoring you in advocating for your work. It has to go both ways. If you're able to provide value for them, for example, helping them out with some tasks that they're struggling with, or understanding that they're having some issues with getting an initiative off the ground, that's an opportunity that you can step in and help build this relationship that way. When you're able to provide value to them and they recognize and acknowledge that you are helping them get better in some important dimension for them, that's when you have a relationship built there where they are invested in helping you be successful, because when you're successful, they're also successful. The third important thing is finding a sponsor who is going to be in those critical conversations. Now, a lot of you might know by now that at the leadership level, there are a lot of closed-door conversations where they're discussing about the organization's health, the future of the organization, who are the critical leaders that they're trying to maintain or grow. Knowing who's going to be in those conversations is critical to identifying a sponsor or a champion for your work. Because these are the people who are going to be involved in those conversations. And when they think, hey, there's an opportunity that's coming up, they'll think, oh, this person that I work with very closely is very strong in X, Y, and Z, and he has demonstrated this hunger to grow to the next level. And they'll put your case in front of all these other leaders. And that's when they start hearing more about you and they know the kind of work that you've done. And they'll give you that opportunity when the right time comes. And this is a whole process that really takes time. It doesn't happen one or twice or maybe 3 times. Sometimes it takes a long time to get this thing actually working because, one, there's a matter of luck involved here where it takes time for the right opportunity, the right kind of skill sets, and the right kind of leader that they need in order to give you that opportunity. And number 2 is that maybe it's just they just don't have the business need right now for someone to step in. So it's a combination of being at the right place at the right time and having the right person or sponsor or champion who's going to put forth your case and give you that opportunity that you're looking for. Now, after all of this conversation, so one key exercise that I want you to start doing right now, today, get a piece of paper and start brainstorming is number 1. Who are the key people that you've worked with who has interest in having you be successful? It could be a manager, your tech lead, your skip manager, whoever it is. They have to have seen your work up front. They know the kind of person you are, and they have invested interest in having you be successful. Number 2, start thinking about who's going to be in those closed-door conversations, because that person is going to be carrying your papers, your packet, and putting that in front of the other leaders within the organization. And simple ways of figuring out who these crucial people are is talk to your manager, talk to your skip manager to figure out who are the key leaders within the organization. And you can also talk to your cross-functional partners, like your product manager or your data scientists or your data engineers. There are certain key people within the organization, and I think every organization has this, key people who are involved in crucial conversations. They're the ones usually who raise their hands in meetings and talk about opinions that they have, and you can see other people kind of nodding along to it. Or they are the people pushing for initiatives that are gaining traction within the organization. And the reason that they're able to do that is because they have a lot of influence or capability that has allowed them to gain recognition and sponsorship from other leaders within the organization. So that's all the content for today. If you like this video, please leave a comment below. Have you had a sponsor? What were some of your key ways of working with your sponsor that has helped your career? If you like this video, please click the like and subscribe. I'm Zia. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.